ढका था उस पल तो अगम अकल जल भी कहा था। नहीं थी मृत्यु की अमरता भी नहीं, नहीं था दिन रात भी नहीं, हवा भी नहीं, सांस थी स्वयमेव फिर भी नहीं था कोई कुछ भी परम तत्व से अलग या परे भी। बीज पहला जो उगा काम बन कर वह जगा, कवियों ज्ञानियों ने जाना असत और सत का निकट संबंध पहचाना। पहले संबंध के किरण आगे पीछे परम तत्व उस पर ऊपर या नीचे चौथा बटा हुआ पुरुष और स्त्री बना हुआ ऊपर का वही होता नीचे वसुधा सदा हो गया।
सृष्टि ये बनी कैसे, किससे आई है, कहाँ से, कोई क्या जानता है, बता सकता है। देवताओं को यही ज्ञान दे आए सृजन के बाद, सृष्टि को रचा है जिसने, उसको जाना किसने।
काम है करता, करता है वाह करता, नीचे आकाश में रहता, सदा अध्यक्ष बना रहता, वही सच में जानता।
आज का जो कहानी में ना थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग एक चीज है,
किसी को नहीं पता, नहीं पता, नहीं है पता।
Yeah, Saurabh, you were saying something. Yeah.
Today's the discussion, it has a very interesting thing there. This is about the Kurma Avatar, so churning of the sea. Now, anybody who has checked out the Kurma Avatar, they will say that Kurma Avatar is after the Matsya Avatar, right? है ना? Because obviously people say that evolution. This is an interesting thing. Normally after Matsya Avatar, the three avatars, they all have तीन क्या, एक मत्स्य, कुर्म, वराह और नरसिंह and Vaman, 4 avatars. All these 4 avatars have in one place that the Vishnu avatar was to against the particular Asura king.
19 hours.
Right?
So yes.
So Asura king, so you can, if you see by kings who came after what, we can count off. So Varaha avatar, as you know, is against Asura called Hiranyaksha, the one with the eye of the eye on gold. Then Narsingh avatar was against Hiranyakashipu, one who sat on the cushion of gold, right? Vaman avatar we know was something to do with Mahabali, who was, by the way, the potra of Prahlada, who was the son of Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu are brothers, though some people say Hiranyakashipu was older and whatever. Now, but Kurma avatar also has an Asura king. Now that Asura king, by the way, is Mahabali again.
Okay.
So if that's the case, then he would be coming. Then Kurma Avatar should have come after Narsingh Avatar and before Vaman Avatar. So that's a very interesting thing. In a few Puranas, this particular mismatch is there. But we normally are going by the way the series is told. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsingh, Vamana. So we'll go like that.
तुमने जो बात कही सौरभ, सभी को फॉर्मली वेलकम टू टुडेज पाणी वॉच. और हम लोग काफी समय से लगभग सौरभ have you missed? ये शायद चौथा सीरीज है अपना, चौथा पाणी वॉच है.
Yeah, this is the
I think
fourth
we
one.
started on June 9th.
Yeah.
Yes. तो पहली मासिक जो इसकी we have been meeting for the last 4 weeks और बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग नैरेटिव अनफोल्ड हुआ है और प्रति बुधवार हम लोग 7 बजे मिल रहे हैं. और तुमने जो भी बात कही उसमें मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि कूर्म अवतार was probably not against anyone. अगर उसके
it is not against anyone, but there is a
there might be an addition. See, जो यूनिवर्स है पूरा, जो आपने कहा कि भाई इट्स अ नॉन लीनियर पैंथियन है हमारी, और आदि शेष और अनंत शेष का जो आप लिमिट्स हमेशा लगा के रखते हो, तो इट विल टेक टाइम टू पीपल टू डिसाइफर. सो आज हमने एक छोटा सा पोल भी इसमें लॉन्च किया है कि हाउ वेल आर यू एंजॉयिंग द पाणी वॉच अप्रोच टू इंडियन मेथोडोलॉजी. बिकॉज हमको ही लग रहा है कि तुम्हारा जो ट्रीटमेंट है, बिकॉज ये कथाएं जो आपने कहा कि स्टोरी कीपर्स, तो अनंत बार ये कथाएं कही गई हैं, नाना प्रकार से कही गई हैं, पर जो एक विलक्षण अप्रोच है, जो एक डिफरेंट अप्रोच है, विच इज अ लॉट ऑफ डेटा पॉइंट्स, जो कि बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट डिफरेंशिएटर है और थोड़ा हाई फंडा है. बिकॉज द वे यू आर ब्रिंगिंग इन द फिलोसॉफिकल प्रिसेप्ट्स, सप्तऋषि को जिस तरीके से आपने प्रस्तुत किया है, that is in itself is a paper in itself. मतलब अगर आप उसको एक मैनेजमेंट पैराडाइम की तरह से प्रस्तुत करना चाहो तो द फाइंडिंग आउट द पोल स्टार इन योर सप्तरी इन योर कॉर्पोरेट बोर्ड रूम्स. सो समथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट एक हाई फंडा आपने दिया है. हाई फंडा इज नॉट ऑलवेज नॉन कॉम्प्रिहेंसिबल, जस्ट यू हैव टू पुट अप अ लॉट ऑफ मोर एफर्ट. तो formally we are completing the 4 episodes, and when we had started off, we had probably not thought of कि भाई हम लोग कंटिन्यू करेंगे, कि कर भी पाएंगे कि नहीं कर पाएंगे, but the interest is developing. And what has struck me सौरभ, कि आप जो इनिशियल 2 या 3 एपिसोड्स थे, the way you presented the whole outcome, सृष्टि का जो उपक्रम आपने बताया कि how from विष्णु ब्रह्मा came और ब्रह्मा भी विष्णु से जुड़े हुए हैं. So all that high funda, and then from Brahma, the whole creation which happened, I would say the 4 कुमारास, आपने सनत, सनंदन, सनक, सानंद, उनको उच्चारण करना भी एक टफ है, but that is something which if you have to really become a serious student of Indian mythology for life, तो वो नामकरण और उनका अर्थ, फिर प्रजापतियों की बातें, नारद और बाकी प्रजापतियों के बीच में, फिर आपके सप्तऋषि में भी 8 आ जाते हैं, तो मरीचि आ जाते हैं एक स्पेशल कैरेक्टर, और मरीचि से कश्यप आ जाते हैं, और कश्यप से हम कहीं ना कहीं कश्मीर को जोड़ डालते हैं, और उस पर एक थोड़ा बवाल मचता है कि lot of things started happening over there. So बहुत ही सुंदर, it's evolving. तो one of the things it's coming is कि after having created this series, this content, and obviously the writing part है वो तो fabulous है ही सही. उसमें तो दशावतार की ये कथा हमने पिछली बार से शुरू करी, और उससे पहले जो नंबर्स की बात आपने कही, which is in itself a course in itself, कि भाई what is a human year, what is a divine year. डिवाइन ईयर, देवताओं के बाद ब्रह्मा का दिवस, फिर कल्प की बात आपने करी, मनवंतर की बात करी, अभी जो बातें सुनी हैं और समझी हैं वो भी हाई फंडा है. मतलब वो जिसको कहते हैं कि स्मृति में दृढ़ नहीं है. तो एनीवेज, बट दिस इज हाउ आर जो हाई फंडा कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं इन कथाओं के माध्यम से, कि बहुत इजीली वो जा रहा है अंदर. तो दैट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. और in order to sustain the interest, and one of the core objectives behind this series was to get the story keeper a storyteller, to make him a storyteller. So this beautiful content will become a baseline, a kind of an addendum to the write-up which is out there on the Saurav, I would just say sauravkumar.co.in, one of the very emerging blogs on Indian mythology. And a lot of other work has to be done on top of it in terms of explaining you the numbers, playing around with that, and evolving over there. So maybe that is our next leap forward. But just to keep the context running, कि जो wisdom के nuggets हर इस पाणियुवाद से निकल के आ रहे हैं, मतलब आपने मत्स्यावतार में भी जो कोर कॉन्सेप्ट्स और प्रिसेप्ट्स की बात कही, कि in order to save the creation, who all were selected? The wise people were selected. आपका सप्तऋषि का एक पूरा wisdom है कि you just don't follow a guru, but you just try to get your own pole star from the reference frame of a saptarishi. So ये जो सारे nuggets of wisdom है, I think they are something which have to be carried forward. So सौरभ, आज क्या कथा सुनाने जा रहे हैं आप, और क्या आज का विषय वस्तु है?
सागर मंथन पे आज बात करने था. तो सागर मंथन is the story of the Sagar Manthan, and which is also one of the Dashavatara stories. The supposedly the second avatar, the Kurma avatar. So we'll start by connecting it again to some story we had seen earlier. So before this started, I was trying to say there is a connection to the later stories, but I'll start with the earlier story. अब देखते हैं. As we told, there were Saptarishis. One of the Saptarishis is Atri. Okay? Atri had a few sons, a few which are known, well known, and some, almost all of them are well known, but at least one is known very well, but not known to be the son of Atri. That is Durvasa. Okay. The angry one. Durvasa, the angry one, the smelly one. Durvasa. The idea is very simple. He was a wise man. Durvasa, Rishi Durvasa was a wise man. He was so much absorbed in his contemplation of wisdom that maybe sometimes he forgot to take a bath. His hygiene was not the best. So he was Durvasa. And someone who is always thinking about deep thoughts, maybe if he is interrupted or people do not match up to his expectations, that person, if you see our school and colleges, there were some teachers who were very sharp, but they were so much engrossed in what they were doing that if you interrupted them or did not catch up with them or meet up to the expectation, they would get angry very fast. So this is Durvasa. In fact, there is an interesting thing. Some people say he has an Ansh avatar of Shiva. Rudra. So Rudra is also जो रुलाते हैं, शिव जी हैं जो auspicious हैं. So this is Durvasa. Now as we all know, Durvasa is known as the angry man, the angry old man. Now this one day he found a very sweet smelling garland. Then he realized that this sweet smelling garland should go to someone who deserves it. Right? A very beautiful thought. He went and gave it to Indra. And because he was the lord of the gods, small g. Some people call them demigods, but okay, small g. Small g wale
the gods. Small g is good enough.
King of the small g gods, Indra, he gave that garland. Now that garland, sweet smelling flowers are basically signify good fortune, goodness, something which the smell remains, lasting good fortune. Now, because of whatever reason, Indra knowingly or unknowingly put it somewhere or other, the garland fell on the ground. Now this was angered Durvasa, because then obviously, as you said, angry man. So he said, you found a simple garland of flower. You could not keep that thing because you thought that you have a lot of precious things. Let you go and lose your most precious things. So his precious, the gods started losing their precious things. What is precious to gods? Their powers, right? Their strength and control over the various elements. And also there were some precious things like the elephant of Indra, the horses, their weapons, and also Lakshmi. They lost all of them. Now, if you see, if one side becomes weakened, the other side obviously gets strengthened, right? So, and the other side is the Daityas, the Asuras. Asuras, one important thing is, we'll get to the story later on, but come to a point, these Asuras, they had a teacher, Acharya, Shukra Acharya. Now, Shukra Acharya had got a very great wisdom, or a great learning, the learning of rejuvenation. Mrita Sanjeevani Vidya ya Sanjeevani Siddhi. And interestingly, as we had told earlier, Mrita Sanjeevan, so to bring someone out back from death, is only possible by the destroyer. So Mrita Sanjeevani Vidya was given to Shukracharya by Shiva, right?
So this is a very important, एक बड़ी important philosophical बात आपने कही है कि the one who can destroy, that person only can bring it back from destruction.
Yes, yeah, that's a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
As you see, very interesting parts. The one who creates can give you life, but he can never give you amaratva. Like Brahma, if you see all his boons, one important point is he cannot give you amaratva. He creates, but he cannot give you amaratva. He cannot get you back from, and he cannot make you undying. He can only give you boon about the type of death. He cannot keep you away from death.
So that's the separation of powers in the Trinity.
Yes. Vishnu, by the way, can give you amratva. All the Chiranjeevis, they are somewhere or other either Ansh of Vishnu or have been blessed by Vishnu to be Chiranjeevi. See, someone who preserves can make you, someone is alive, to give him amratva. Even Garuda was given, is also one of the ones who never has immortality. Even though he does not drink, we'll come to that story again, but he is given. So Vishnu can give you immortality. But for getting a mortal back, someone who is dead back to life, it needs the destroyer. So creator can give you methods of death, never, neither bring you back from life, neither give you amratva. The preserver can give you amratva. Someone who preserves can make you ensure that you live longer, or probably infinite. So if you see, whenever there's an amratva coming, Vishnu is there. And if there's something Smriti Sanjeevan, someone is dying and coming back, that is only from Shiva. Very interesting story, na? Like destroyer can bring you back, preserver can keep you amratva, but the creator cannot give you none of these things.
Okay.
Hai na? So Shukracharya had got the Sanjeevani Vidya. So now interestingly, that time the gods, the small gods, were not immortal yet, right? So in fact they get important. We come to that only. And now the Asuras also are not immortal.
Saurabh, because ये काफी intertwined हो रहा है. Just एक curiosity है इस story में. आपने last कहानी में कहा कि एक मनवंतर संध्या हो रही थी, right?
Yeah.
मनवंतर संध्या या प्रलय हो रहा था.
Manvanta Sandhya is pralay, basically equal to one Treta Yuga. Yes.
तो आपने वहां से दशावतार प्रारंभ किया. तो जब वो प्रलय खत्म हुई तो सृष्टि नई बनी. All those Saptarishis and the new Manu who came. और तो क्या ये उसी क्रम में है या?
In fact, yeah. See, Manvantar Sandhya is not basically Kalp Ant. Kalp Ant में a new will, a new creation will come. In Manvantar Sandhya only the land will go down below water.
Okay.
Pralaya is basically flood, the great flood. The flood myth is the Pralaya. So this is not where there is no creation. Here creation is always there. It has to be extended back. है ना? So Manvantar Sandhya में ब्रह्मा सो नहीं रहे होते, ब्रह्मा जगी रहे हैं.
Okay.
Right? So if I told you that when Brahma sleeps and then a new creation starts, Manvantar Sandhya is within the Kalp, right? 71, वो तो पूरी कहानी बताई थी ना, वो पूरा वाला है ना?
तो ये वो छोटी प्रलय थी या बड़ी लार्जर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बात आप कर रहे हो?
हाँ, तो वही है बोल रहा हूँ. तो this is it was that what thought was Manvanta Sandhya between the 6th and the 7th, right? है ना, चक्षुषा मनु वाले मनवंतर से अभी श्रद्धदेव मन, है ना.
I just wanted to make sense of it. Yeah, perfect.
So now the devas have weakened because their precious things are going, and they keep becoming weaker and weaker because of Durvasa, है ना. And the asuras now they can be brought back to life even if they die.
Okay.
And by the way, interestingly, asuras mean from the body, from the ground. Ground से जो चीज निकलता है वो वापस आता है. फसल कटती है फिर उगता है. So that's the imagery there.
अच्छा.
है ना. So in fact, people used to see ना कि you cut the then it grows back. So asuras are coming from there. Now what will happen in this case? Now the devas are weaker in front of asuras, and they were started getting defeated. Now if you are getting defeated, obviously you will try to get better. And then they went to Brahma, and he told him go and take a help of Vishnu. Okay. So the idea given to them was, you needed to get it back from the Sagara. Sagara se manthan karna. Sagara means something which has poison in it.
Okay.
Sagara with poison. But if you do manthan from that, you will remove the bad parts, you'll get the good parts as well. So that manthan has to be going. If you remember, we actually touched about it in the first only. So how to do Sagar manthan? Can the devas do it alone? No. They will need help. Only one side cannot do manthan. For manthan or sangharsh, to get something out of a large thing, you need two parties working together. Do haath chahiye. Even churning, you need like this. So for that churning,
complementary, two competing competencies you require.
Yes. So wahi hai na. It is you do not just need the sons of Aditi, you need the sons of Diti as well. Okay. So what they did was, a basic idea was told to the Daityas, the sons of Diti, let's go and we'll get the Amrita out. Now interestingly, and we will share. That's what was said. And what was unsaid is, Devas think we will somehow get the Amrit for ourselves, and the Daityas thought the same. Once we get it out, it's all ours. Okay. So the idea was they will churn it. For churning, you need a churning stick. Sagara is the sea. Some say it's a Kshir Sagara. Very interesting, but we'll get why it is there. Whatever. In Sagara, if you need to do Sagar Manthan, you need a churning stick. Churning stick was basically we use the Mount Meru, the biggest. In fact, Greeks call it Olympus, Mount Olympus. So in India, the Mount Meru is basically the path to the abode of the gods. Tall तो Mount Meru को लिया गया. अब Mount Meru से उसको churning किया जाएगा. For that churning, you also need churning stick. A churning stick will be used. What was used? Shesh. Some say Vasuki. Some say I would prefer to use the word Shesha. Shesha was used for that.
The same Shesha.
Yeah, Shesha. In one incorporation of that, because come on, how can you be everywhere? Shesha could be used. Now, and at that time, if you put the stick and you start the rubbing, as you put a stick, the stick started falling down. Right? Now, what is Mount Meru? If you see, there are a lot of stories where when you look at how do you look at a mountain? You look at a mountain like this. And what is the pose you do when you're ambitious? You do like this. So the mountain is ambition. If you see, when the ambition of Pandavas was to reach heaven in their mortal bodies, they started walking up the Mount Meru. So basically, Mount Meru is the basically embodiment of ambition. Ambition. अरे क्या कहते हैं, सागर से गहरा अगर आपका प्रॉब्लम है तो आपका ambition Mount Meru से लंबा बड़ा होना चाहिए, right? If your work is like Sagara, then your ambition should be big as Mount Meru, है ना? कि his ambition is touching the skies. His ambition is like a huge. That's the thing. Ambition with given time, as you said, Shesha. Shesha is time.
Okay.
But can you get good things purely by just having time and ambition? You need patience. So what was happening? All these were there. The stick was going down. To bring patience is that time. At when it had kept on falling down. At a time, Vishnu took the avatar of Kurma, a huge turtle. Ab will just one more word for Kurma is Kachapa. And Kachapa is also even Kashyapa is also is sometimes connected to Kachapa. So maybe it is said that the father of the gods supported. But basically here, let's go to this Kurma, the patience of the preserver, the father, the preserver.
Okay.
Took the load of the ambition of the Meru.
Okay.
Which was being pulled through time by the two sides who normally fight. But here they use their fight for a constructive way. So this the Sagar Manthan happened. Now there's an interesting story there as well. Probably you have to read it to understand that if there's a snake has two sides. One is the Vishwala head, and the tail, which is slightly less dangerous. Now the point was, who will take the Vish side? Right? There are two stories about it. I will first tell the story which talks about being two sides trying to क्या बोलते हैं इसको, एक दूसरे को बेवकूफ बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, to fool each other. And then I'll tell you a story which says it actually was the right choice. The first story, let me say, this is a story normally you find in Puranas.
when एक ही घटना की आप दो interpretations बता रहे हो, so there is no one interpretation.
Yeah.
There are two sides.
One which is I have read more places, and one which made sense to me more. But I'll tell you the first which I read more, which is then both guys said, obviously, why will I go and touch, hold a big snake on the head? I don't want to die, है ना? Then Devas and Daityas both said, I will not touch that side. And if one side is not taken by any, if all of them pull at one side, it will be churning. At that time, sometimes Indra himself said, okay, good enough. So it's okay. Devas will hold the side of the head because that is what Devas deserve. Very good. The Daityas got a little confused. Why? Suddenly these people they are so stupid. They are going to catch the poison spewing end. But okay, let's ask. Why are you doing that? Very simple as that. We Devas are better than you. No, you're not. No, we are better than you. Similarly, if you think of it as snake, which is the better side? Any animal with the better side, the head side. When you want to give someone respect, you say head, not the feet. So if we are better, we should be holding the better side.
Okay.
Now that I said, by the way, just in case, we just defeated you. So we are better now. So we will hold the poison side, the head side. Now the same thing, which was earlier the poison side, now became the head side, hence the more respected side. See, it's the way perception changed. Right?
Okay.
Perception of the head was earlier poison or danger.
Achha.
When the perception became of importance, people were, I will hold that. Think of it the same way. In any organization, when you are told, if you are told this is a point which is danger, you have to go and meet the clients and they'll take your case big time. And no, yeah, don't make me a sales guy. But then you say you are the face of the company. And you are basically the most important people, the best. You're the best face. Go show the best face of the world. You're the business development guy. The same people are, yes, I'm good. See, perception changes, right? So this is one way of looking at it. So this happened. So the Daityas are holding on the side of the head and the Devas holding on the tail, and they are pulling. This is one story. The other story which makes more sense is because everyone should be doing that thing. Should be, if there are two tasks, the task should not only be such that it's not equality, this should be equity. Right? Now think of it. Devas that time were not immortal. Okay,
Acha.
and Daityas had Krita Sanjeevani with them. So even if there is poison coming out, Daityas could survive by being brought back.
The power balance was inequitably distributed. You mean to say this?
Yes, there is inequity in there, right? So if you are
Asuras had got the Mrata Sanjeevani, so their Gurudev could always revive
get them back,
and
revive them.
and there happened this entire plan to make Devas immortal. Okay.
So but the point is, if you are cooperating with someone, then the more difficult part should be done by someone who has the capability of doing it, right? Because if you are doing equality there, then the whole क्या बोलते हैं, your common goal will not be met, right? That's not a time to fight about who is. I should have equal level of responsibility. It is about equitable distribution of responsibility. So I like this story better.
The Asuras were duped by the Devatas to.
Yeah, one story is duped. One story is they understood that because they are also sons of Kashyapa, right? They are not evil. So one is they were duped. I told the first story. The second is they were given the task which they were more suited to do.
How come? How come justify this?
Because if you see, if there are two sides, one is not immortal and getting weaker by the time, and the other one who can be brought back to life. Which side should be sitting? If they're cooperating, they are not fighting right now, they're cooperating. Then which side should be toward the poison?
Who were more study? Yeah.
Yes. So this is also a way of looking at it. So to get it done, if there was some duping done, it's okay. है ना? सही काम के लिए गलत तरीके यूज करना हमेशा गलत नहीं होता है ना? तो ये this is one example. This is example where they were duped, right?
Okay.
So this churning started. So as you said, as we talked about that, the patriarch Kashyapa, also Kachyapa, and also Vishnu, at the back of their patience, the ambition of the two sons, side sons, the Aditi sons and the Diti sons, and the form of Meru was there. They cooperated by using their competitiveness for that, by using time, the Shesha, to churn the Sagara. What thing comes out of that is to get the good things. If we have time, I can go and talk about the things which came out. Which was
we can.
It's as simple as that. This is a basic story of being Sagara Manthan. Now Sagara is with wish. The first thing which came out was halahal. The worst क्या बोलते हैं, worst poison. Of halal came. If you need immortality, someone has to accept the poison. Who could accept the poison? The one who जिससे death also is afraid of. Who can destroy even death? Yamantaka. Shiva, the auspicious one. So Mahadev came and he gulped down the halal. Some say ki Shakti then stopped it and it remained in the Kantha. So it became Neelakantha, right? So first thing was halal. An interesting thing, because whenever these stories happen, there's always some because there are three trinity which are क्या बोलते हैं, worshipped. So Vishnu के पीठ पे ही हो पाया, but if Shiv did not come, then this would not have happened. And if Shakti did not stop the halal here, then the god of destruction would have been destroyed. So this is a beautiful way of telling everyone is needed. Okay. After that, animals came.
Okay.
Animals. The first animal I would say is Kamadhenu, the mother of all cows, the one who can provide.
Soon after the poison, Kamadhenu came.
In fact, there are a lot of things which came. I am just trying to keep a
Simple.
simplicity. So first halahal came. सागर से गरल उत्पत्ति हुई. गरल है ना, halahal. तो सागर से हुआ गया. Now started the good things, the precious things which people had lost. कामधेनु, the mother of cows. By the way, interestingly, कामधेनु की story बाद में बहुत बार आएगी, है ना. कामधेनु keeps on shifting from to sages, and every time when people want to take away that कामधेनु and then fights occur. तो कामधेनु की story अब आएंगे बाद में. One of the is Saptarishis Bhrigu. In his line of Bhargavas, there is Jamadagni, right? है ना. उनके पास भी कामधेनु थी. फिर क्या हुआ वो कहानी हम सुनेंगे, है ना. People can go and check Parshuram, है ना. Parshuram is called Bhargava Ram because Bhrigu के son थे. Everything if you see are connected to the Saptarishis. Okay, कामधेनु came because it is the signifies the bounty of nature. Bounty of nature is given to the keepers of knowledge. Okay. So the sages. So normally it passes from sages to sage to sage. It is never. बाकी सब चीजें ना राजाओं के पास होती है, लेकिन ये sages से पर रहती है. कामधेनु, है ना. कामधेनु, है ना. In fact, there are stories about that. There is a very interesting story about one of the it is a very interesting story there. We'll come to that later on. Ki how Kamdhenu's daughter was found out which king or queen was good. So we'll come to that. Kamdhenu ka bhi story hai. There are a lot of stories about her in the Puranas, the lesser known Puranas. Then came the elephant of prosperity. See, in English language, the white elephant is seen as something which is detrimental to your goodness, है ना. Okay. But in our mythology, white elephant is prosperity and magnificence. Airavat, है ना. Interestingly, he is three-headed. Okay. Three-headed elephant and the ancestor of all elephants. Okay. So basically, elephants are seen earlier as the basically steeds. People can basically होता है हमर, है ना. अभी आपके पास बाइक होगी तो बाइक की जगह पे हॉर्स होता था, और अगर एकदम एसयूवी चाहिए तो वह हाथी जाएगा, है ना. That is there. It was also war, tanks. Instead of tanks, we had elephants, right? And they were also the cranes. When you needed brute force, you used the elephants. So elephant was the idea about magnificence and true prosperity, because ability to do work is the base of prosperity. So an elephant is an example of that. Not like the story about the king of Siam who always gifted white elephants to his courtiers whom he wanted to destroy. Now this elephant was given to the king of the gods, Indra. In fact, the story goes that he was earlier with Indra. It is on his head was that Durvasa's flower garden went, and he had dropped it and crushed it. So Airavata came. तो cyclist आ जाता है ना. You lost something precious.
जो खो दिया उसको फिर पुरुषार्थ करके industriousness के साथ they reclaimed it back, because perfect, lovely.
Okay. And then there is the horse, Uchchai Shrava. Okay. Now Uchchai Shrava, I don't know, the three animals, the cow, the elephant, and the horse came. Think of it. A cow, an elephant, and the horse together are talking about the animals which were used for civilization at that time. A cow for food and milk, right? The elephant for work.
We will go. The whole organic farming movement is all driven by the manure of cow dung or whatever. There is a whole economy around that.
So thinking of that is the precious things में पहले बात करना चाहिए. After Garal, the precious things are the cow, the elephant, and the horse. Ab Uchchai Shrava comes in the later story as well. He was basically the source of all horses. Represents beauty and purity of nature because it was pure white, right? Okay. In fact, the all pure white
elements after the dark hala
हाँ
you are getting all the three elements as white.
हाँ,
Cow is
कामधेनु ऐरावत, right? है ना?
so they're all white, yeah.
So in fact, interestingly, it is seven-headed.
The horse.
Uchchashrawa was seven-headed. So maybe a white light, if it had 7 heads, what does it come to your mind? So Uchchashrawa, in fact, is also the idea about the white light breaking to 7 lights. So 7-headed horse. In some cases, this horse was kept by Indra. In some stories, they said it is kept by the king of the Asuras.
अच्छा,
Okay?
बलि, महाबली.
हाँ, महाबली. Which that's why I told you ना कि थोड़ा सा confusing यहाँ पे आता है ना, कि ये सेकंड अवतार में है ना, फोर्थ अवतार के पोते का कहाँ से आ जाता है. Okay. Then we can talk about the 3 divine entities.
Okay.
है ना, the 3 divine entities are the ways, basically they are the female entities. है ना. So how nature is seen as happiness, there are 3 ways of looking at it. One is the most beautiful Apsara or Rambha. Rambha came. So this is happiness in youth, the happiness of beauty.
Okay.
So if you see, but interestingly, Apsara also means coming from water. In fact, even in the stories in the Greek mythology, nymphs, even nymphs also coming from water, right? And somehow the beauty of, people see the beauty of youth and beauty in water. But have you noticed all the stories when Apsaras are there, they are mostly tragedies.
Okay.
Think of it. One of the Vishwamitra ke saath Menaka Apsara, it ended with Menaka being get lost, and the kid which was there, who was left under the wings of a Shakun, Shakuntala, which again is also a tragedy. There is another story about Urvashi. Urvashi married one of the Chandravanshis, in fact the first Chandravanshi king, and it ended in tragedy. Raja Ravi Varma has made it a very beautiful painting about that. So whenever we talk about Apsaras, there is always a tragedy behind it, a tragedy of being kept away from love, that your loved one or your son or your daughter. So basically, our stories always try to say, whenever there's youth and there's beauty, please understand there's at some point or other, you will lose that. You will lose youth, you will lose beauty, there will be tragedy there.
So there is a philosophy, there is a wisdom associated, ingrained in the narrative itself, the story.
Because somehow every time you see the Apsara story has some tragedy there. We do not have any pure play and happily lived ever after story with an Apsara. Kabhi nahi. Right? Then one way I told the beauty of youth. The second is the beauty which comes from intoxication. So it is Varuni, the daughter of Varun. By the way, Varuni is another word for Madira. So basically, Varuni came out, the daughter of Varun came out with a picture of Madira or alcohol with her. So this is the happiness of intoxication, abandonment of responsibilities. First,
abandonment of responsibilities.
So, but this happiness also comes with a price. The price is lost opportunities. If you are intoxicated, you won't get to use the opportunities. You will abandon your responsibility. There will be fights. So sometimes Varuni is also equated to one more goddess, Alakshmi. It's always said, na, Alakshmi. Varuni is also Alakshmi.
Okay.
In some stories, it's always said that Lakshmi and Alakshmi, they are twins, and they are daughters of Sagar. Here, Alakshmi can be, if the daughter of Sagar, then Alakshmi. If the daughter of Varun, then Varuni. So Alakshmi and Varuni, that is misfortune and alcohol, were combined together. Okay, and then came the twin of Alakshmi, Lakshmi. Okay. The happiness which comes from well-earned wealth and good fortune. Unearned good fortune is Apsara, which is only based on your beauty or your youth. If it is unearned, it will end in tears. Apsara पानी से आया, पानी आंखों से पानी निकलेगा, है ना. If the happiness is coming from alcohol, you'll abandon responsibility even. But if the happiness comes from well earned wealth and good fortune, it's Lakshmi. So if you are respectful to that, Lakshmi remains. If you're disrespectful to that, or you do not follow dharma, then she flees in anger and Lakshmi comes in her place.
तो आपने तीनों ये बताए, रंभा, वारुणी और लक्ष्मी. तो ये तीनों का ग्रेडेशन है. द हाईएस्ट इज लक्ष्मी, द नेक्स्ट हाईएस्ट इज योर वारुणी. तो यूथ का जो फ्लैम्बायंस है वो है आपका रंभा. सो the sequence also has a lot of wisdom associated.
See these stories में सब चीजें हैं, तो I only choose those which are actually telling us. See, a story can be fun, but a story if you learn something through a system involved, then it's good, right? So these stories, if you read any of the Puranas, these all will be mentioned. I sometimes do not mention a few additional ones. There are many more we came. I covered first वो हो गया, फिर 3 first halahal or garal from Sagara, then the 3 animals, right? The 3 animals which is signifying the 3 ways the earliest civilization used to use animals, the cow, the horse, the elephant, and then 3 female divine entities who are also signifying the way happiness comes to you. Now we'll be looking at the a list of the of objects, right? Next object we can see is Kaustubha. Kaustubha is the ratna, a jewel. It is considered to be the most precious jewel to be known. But interestingly, whenever it always brought misfortune because people are greedy about it. I would like to say Kaustubha, the true ratna, can also be is in fact people say that the last time Kaustubha was there was with Krishna, but when the Dwarka went into sea, it was lost. So even a incarnation of Vishnu could not if they had that jewel, it fell. His empire fell. In fact, there is one more jewel, similar jewel we know. Wherever it has gone, the empire has stopped to some way or other. Samantaka. Right? The Mount Samantaka also, very good. So what if Kaustubha and Samantaka is one? Samantaka story बहुत अच्छी है ना वो. अरे वो बहुत अच्छा है, मैंने मजा आएगा उसमें ना. जाम्बवान भी आ जाएगा, बहुत interesting है ना. So and in fact, if you think of Samantaka also, if Samantaka was not there, okay guys, if people who not know about it, Samantaka was got. There's a story on that. But okay. Whenever a jewel comes, it is always shown that somehow the people are greedy or people think that you are greedy. Either someone tries to steal it, or people think that someone else has stolen it, and misfortune comes. There's one more jewel in history, not mythology, which is of similar kind. Right? Whenever it has gone to a particular ruling family, that family has lost, right? If not at the last family which has it even now, they lost the way the power they had earlier, the British monarchy. So Raja Ranjit Singh ke paas gaya, and at that time when the Sikh powers was not top, but what happened, right? So think of it, Kaustubha ho ya Kohinoor ho, right? So it is the idea of jewel is there. Then the came was Parijata. This is a very interesting thing. Some people equate Parijat to one more thing called Kalpavriksha. So Parijat is the sweet-smelling flower which never wilt. Right? There are different different flowers or different trees which are considered as Parijat. Let's go to that. But I believe Parijat can also be very interesting. Parijat ki story jab bhi aati hai na, it is always in Indra's garden, specifically Indrani's garden. Right? So think of it. A sweet-smelling flower started all the problems, and then the tree which has those sweet-smelling flowers, that was given back to Indra, who gave it to Indrani, who put it in the garden, the beautiful garden, the heavenly garden. So there's a very interesting thing which comes to me. It has been said in a few places. If from the heavens, when there have been times that Indra has fled or has been pushed out, but from the heavens, Indrani never went. Indrani remains there. So the sweet-smelling flower that never wilt is probably the position of Indrani also. Because there's a story that after Vritra se ladai karke, Indra had to go down, had to hide, go for his recovery and case. Indrani remained.
Because Indrani is more of a possession.
Yeah.
It's a design of the Swargaloka somewhere.
Yeah. So Indrani ke sath Parijat, whenever you have a story in Parijat, you come to Indrani.
Okay.
So forever fragrance is a representation of fame that comes from power of being that rulers come and go, but I will remain. So that is Indrani, that's Parijat. Some people say that Parijat comes from the vriksha of wish fulfilling wish, but I would say it's separate because the ideas are different, right? One is only smell, something which is precious because it smells good, but Kalpavriksha is much more. Kalpavriksha is the wish fulfilling tree. Maybe it is a idea about the power which comes from forests. If you think of it, Kalpavriksha means the vriksha which gives you wishes, but also vriksha which goes on till the kalpa, long time. So basically it is about the riches from forests, the fruits, the leaves, the wood, the clean fresh air. Maybe probably that is the biggest rich we have now. So Kalpavriksha is that. So if we see, everything is actually talking about a particular thing which is seen as precious, right? Preciousness of beauty, the preciousness of the animal power, the preciousness of the of a jewel, the preciousness of different trees and then I will say the Panchajanya also came out.
Okay.
Panchajanya, the 5-pronged conch shell. Ab obviously sea में shell तो आएगा ही, but Panchajanya was given to Lord Vishnu, and both in the pure note as well as the. Why have you seen? People are also saying if you are blowing, they used to blow their shells, the shank before fight. Why would a warrior blowing a conch shell tell people that he's a good warrior? One thought, tell me if it's up, is because it is kind of doing earlier the wild men, they'll do like this thumping. It shows how I'm so strong, I can hit myself so hard and still stand. So if you think of, if you to create a good note, long note, loud note of a shell, you have to have that lung power. If you can do that, that means you are so strong, apna strength.
So very critical in the COVID times when you have to really get your lungs exercises done. So
maybe it was Panchajanya is basically telling that I have lung power. So power. Panchajanya is a way of checking that how powerful you are, right? Last ek kar lete hain. There is an interesting thing about something called sarang. I always find every place that sarang came out, some places it says Chandra came out.
Achha.
Then I actually went and said, checked remember a poem we learned when our childhood. Sarang naini, sarang bani, sarang le gayi sarang ko. Yamak alankar.
Okay.
Sarang means Chandra also. Sarang also means a bow, which is also shaped like a Chandra. And sarang is the bow name given to the sarang, which is the bow of Vishnu, right? There are two bows, the bow of Vishnu, bow of Shiva, right? The bow of Vishnu was sarang, which later on went to Parshuram. He had both the bow of Shiva and Vishnu. He gave the bow of Shiva to be kept at Janaka place and have the bow of Vishnu with him. When the Vishnu avatar Rama came, he broke the bow of Shiva. Parshuram came and he gave him his bow, which is the bow, which is again, by the way, the bow of Vishnu. Sarang is the bow of Rama also, right? Sarang is so think of it. Saranga was a bow which was used by at least two of the incarnation of Vishnu on earth. Sarang is Chandra, who goes to the Shiva's head. So Chandra Shekhara. Sarang is also means spotted deer, which is a representation of the wild game. Because earlier it was not just how did you get food, either from fishing or from agriculture or from hunting. So even that is so Sarang is also the wild deer. Spotted deer is called Sarang, by the way. Sarang Neni is Chandra Neni, Sarang Beni. Sarang can also mean, by the way, elephant, but okay, that's beside the point. So Sarang can mean a lot of things. So can we say in the Sagar Manthan, one thing we also got was the idea of language, the beauty of the poetry in language, which is Sarang. Because if I say in some it is written that Chandra came from the Sagar Manthan, but if Chandra came from Sagar Manthan, there are a lot of things do not match well. So let's say it's Sarang, which is either the bow or the gift of language, gift of poetry. And the last thing which people are waiting for, Dhanvantari, the divine physician, came out with a pitcher which had Amruta in it. So Sagar Manthan for Amruta. Amruta came. Amruta आया तो सारा एकदम cooperation गया तेल लेने. People started fighting. अब तो जो चाहिए मिलेगा. So before Devas could get, Daitya, as per their plan, got hold of the Amruta and ran away. Interestingly, they are already they are kind of immortal now, because even if they die, they'll be brought back. Only way it cannot brought back if they are burnt. But okay, that's why I said if someone burnt Shiva, Bhasmasura, if they are burnt, then you cannot be brought back. Other than that, you cannot be brought back. But even then, they wanted immortality nectar, so he ran away. In that time, there is one more avatara of Vishnu was done, or a form of Vishnu. Not an avatara, form of Vishnu. Mohini avatara, Mohini form. Then Vishnu took the Mohini form and took the pitcher of nectar back, and brought the nectar back, and then started giving to there are beautiful stories and photographs of that. Very interesting, became a beautiful woman. The Daityas already had Varuni with them, so they must have had some liquor, so they got happy, and he took away the Amrita and started giving to the Devas. Other than one very, very, very smart Asura, he was a son of a Daitya woman and a Danava king. We will, that is Swarbhanu. He is the son of Simhika, who was the sister of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And also his Viprachitti. Viprachitti was a Danava king whose father was Puloman and whose sister was Polomi or Indrani. अब इंद्रानी के भाई का बेटा था स्वरभानु. Swarbhanu came and he drank, but by changing his form into a deva. But there were two very bright chaps with the devas. Bright chaps, literally very bright chaps. Surya and Chandra. Very bright. This guy is not one of us. Looks like us, but is not one of us. When told, Sudarshan Chakra went, cut away the head. But already Amrita had gone inside. So these two parts became two entities, Rahu and Ketu. Swarbhanu became Rahu and Ketu.
Okay.
And he got so angry with the two bright chaps. I was at last becoming the immortal. If I would be immortal, I would be the king, all that stuff. This guy got me cut into two parts. So now Chandra and Surya are always eaten by the Rahu and the Ketu, but because they are not complete, they come out as well. A beautiful story about astronomy turned into this way. But this connection interesting, right? Swarbhanu became Rahu and Ketu. Swarbhanu is, by the way, son of Daitya princess, who, by the way, is connected to the other avatars, and a Danava king, who, by the way, is the brother of the wife of the king of gods. Proper फैमिली में रहता सब कुछ, है ना।
दिति और अदिति के बीच
हाँ,
भी
है ना। तो बेसिकली नहीं, ये तो धनु का पुत्रों में से एक था पुलोमन। पुलोमन का पुत्र था विप्रचित्ति, ठीक है। और दिति के एक पुत्री थी सिंहिका, अदरवाइज नोन एज होलिका, है ना।
I think
Now,
we have to draw all kind of small genealogy charts to give some
ये
visual
इंटरेस्टिंग है ना कि
representations.
राहु केतु का बैकग्राउंड कहाँ था,
आज
भाई
तक
वहां पे
आज तक
चले
लोग स्वर भानु का नाम नहीं जानते हैं, राहु ही केतु में बन गया। स्वर भानु की लीनिएज जो आपने बताई सौरभ, आई थिंक दैट इज वेरी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। एंड दिस चर्निंग, मैं कहूंगा कि ये जो पाणियु वाच है, इट्स ट्रूली अ चर्निंग ऑफ द इंडियन माइथोलॉजी, इंडियन पैंथियन, जितनी विशिष्टता से। और दैट्स व्हाट आज हमने पोल में ये रखा भी है कि देयर आर टू मच ऑफ डेटा पॉइंट्स इन दिस। और वो कहते हैं ना, कोई भी शास्त्र, कोई भी विधा में पारंगति प्राप्त करने के लिए यू हैव टू मास्टर द की टर्म्स, द की वर्ड्स, द की कॉन्सेप्ट्स, द की प्रिसेप्ट्स। एंड the way you have really brought out from your own research, first principles research, this is really commendable. And I think this is a first pass we are trying to make, or a lot of support material when it comes, because वो दिमाग में रिटेन होना, या तो वही कथा बार बार सुनी जाए, और या फिर विजुअल टूल के थ्रू कि भाई स्वर भानु है, इसका फैमिली ट्री यहाँ पे बैठता है इन द पाणियु वाच यूनिवर्स। अगर मरीचि की बात है तो भाई ये जो सारे क्लस्टर्स है, दिस इज अ वेरी 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 इंटरेस्टिंग, आई वुड से, सब्जेक्ट पर से। एंड इट नीड्स टू बी टेकन अप इन दिस लवली फैशन। और जिस ग्रेडेड तरीके से आपने बताया कि कैसे रंभा, वारुणी और लक्ष्मी, वारुणी को आपने लक्ष्मी भी बताया, कि कामधेनु और ऐरावत और उच्च श्रवा, तो उसका उच्चारण ही करना कठिन है, तो उसको लिख पाना, उसको समझ पाना, आई थिंक these are very important. स्टोरी तो है ही, बट इसके अंदर एक बहुत ही गहरा, एंड दैट इज व्हाई वी ब्रिंग टू यू दीज विजडम वेडनेसडेज। और हमारे यहाँ कथा कभी समाप्त नहीं होती, कथा विश्राम लेती है। तो ये कथा अनवरत चलती रहेगी। अगले बुधवार हम फिर से मिलेंगे, पाणियु वाच के संस्करण में कुछ पुनरावृत्ति करेंगे। एंड आई थिंक ईच ऑफ दीज एपिसोड्स आर एडिंग अप टू बिकम क्वाइट अ सब्सटेंशियल मटेरियल। और ये तो फाउंडेशंस हैं, अभी लॉट ऑफ फिलोसफिकल प्रिसेप्ट्स नहीं आ रहे हैं, बट एक एक एलिमेंट में, एक एक आइटम जो सागर मंथन से निकला, दैत्य और दानवों में कैसे दे शेयर्ड द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज, हाउ दे वर कन्विंस्ड, मल्टीपल रूपक उन्होंने बताए, एंड हाउ कूर्मा केम, कि आप कितना भी बड़ा जाइजेंटिक मंदराचल बन जाइए, बट आपको भी बॉटम लाइन सपोर्ट चाहिए, विष्णु का सपोर्ट। कैसे आपने बताया कि मृत संजीवनी तो है उनके पास, तो दैट इज वाई देवतास फॉर द पावर बैलेंस वांटेड द अमृता फॉर देम। तो उनका जस्टिफिकेशन होता है कि न्यूक्लियर डिटरेंस में वो कहता है कि भाई यू हैव बिकम अ न्यूक्लियर पावर, सो आई टू नीड दैट, आई जस्टिफाई दैट, कि तुम लोगों के पास तो मृत संजीवनी, तो डिप्लोमेसी आल्सो कम्स इनटू प्ले। एंड उन्होंने कहा कि भैया तुम भी अमृत लेके उड़ जाओगे, तो विष्णु वाज नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग रॉन्ग, ही वाज ट्राइंग टू बी इक्विटेबल। तो सही और गलत का जो एब्सोल्यूटिज्म, कहीं बाइनरी जो आज मॉडर्निटी में आ रहा है, वो हमारा एक पूरा का पूरा कंटिन्यूम है जब हम उस कथा को पूरी तरह से समझ रहे हैं। तो सौरभ, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, आप जुड़े, और आज का ये पाणियु वाच आई थिंक फुल ऑफ नगेट्स ऑफ विजडम, एंड विजडम वेडनेसडेज का ये आज हम वी आर कमेमोरेटिंग द फर्स्ट मंथली एनिवर्सरी, द 4th एपिसोड ऑफ इट ऑल, एंड वी विल बी बैक अगेन विथ येट अनदर पाणियु वाच। बहुत ही सुंदर, और ये तो मुझे लग रहा है तो वार्मिंग अप चल रही है, तो दिस इज, अभी तो मुझे लगता है कि और 4-5 एडिशंस इट विल बी वार्मिंग अप, वेयर वी विल बी गेटिंग अ फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल्स एंट्री एंड इनरोड्स इनटू द एंटायर पैंथियन। किसी ने, हर कोई कहता है 33 कोटि 33 कोटि 33 कोटि, बट हु द 33 categories of devas, the small g's are, and the beautiful way you have narrated कि भाई शिव को भी गरल कंठ में रखने के लिए शक्ति की आवश्यकता है, तो दैट इज द अंडरलाइंग पावर ऑफ द ट्रिनिटी। तो जो वैष्णो देवी में महालक्ष्मी, महासरस्वती, महागौरी, सबका जो एक रूपक है, इट्स क्वाइट वेरी वेरी इंटरट्वाइंड, एंड the way Saurabh you are presenting it, I think it's really terrific, and let's continue, and ये कथा, ये संवाद, ये सत्र अनवरत चलता रहे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, और आपसे फिर अगले हफ्ते, अगले सप्ताह फिर मुलाकात होगी. और and it is evolving every day. We are getting really fascinated about these wisdom Wednesday. Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you so much. We'll connect on next Wednesday. Till then, namaskar.